Hello, Helen.
Hi, Rob. I haven't seen you forever.
I know. Last time we were wearing lovely summer clothing.
Don't talk about all the warm clothes I've got on today. I probably look like the Michelin Man, but that's besides the point.
At least be warm.
But we're moving on to this project-based learning for next term. Where,
how exciting.
Yes, it's a Western Cape Education Department project where they want across the globe from grade 4 to grade 7. You need to pick a genre and you need to pick a theme and you need to explore it with your children.
Fantastic. So what is a project actually all about?
You see, this is it. It's about the learners asking questions about a topic. So as the teacher, you would introduce fairy tales, possibly stereotyping, and they need to question fairy tales.
So they're going to come up with some kind of I think that because girls are also always portrayed as weak.
Did that come from storytelling? Did that come from fairy tales? The fact that, that kind of thing. And the fact that we all live happily after only when we married.
A prince.
Well, there are not that many princes around. But yeah. So it's about asking questions.
Fantastic.
And that's what I think is what a lot of teachers struggle with. And we're going to bring it out to them today.
Perfect.
So we got you completely covered. We've taken the genre fairy tales. We've worked with the teacher in grade 6 who's run this for 2 years, but we've sharpened it, we've honed it, we've added all the resources to make it super easy for you to fly.
Fantastic. And I see we've got a learner's workbook now, which is great. That's kind of a new addition to our family. Let's have a look at it.
So we do have a student's workbook with all the pages only for the students. It's sort of like a hard copy if you like to run with hard copy.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have also got the teacher's guide, which is, as you can see, much thicker. But it also includes resources. There's the lesson notes, but it includes resources just for the teacher.
Yeah.
The rubrics, the things that they're going to need. And more specifically, sometimes if you say dealing with stereotyping in Frozen and you don't know the movie Frozen, well, we got you covered. And we've told the teacher only what are the stereotyping in Frozen.
Now, obviously, all these resources are available on our website, lesson by lesson, to download. But we found that teachers like it's a quick reference. You can quickly open it and go, I'm on lesson 6. Oh, yeah, I need these worksheets, or I'm going to quickly read this background. So it's a quick reference guide.
And particularly if there's no power at the time.
Yeah,
however,
this is true.
if there is power and you have devices, this is set up beautifully for you to use.
Yeah, so those on the contents page here where it says elements of fairy tales, if you click on that, it takes you directly to that page in your workbook.
So it'd be quite cool to run with a Google Doc with your children,
absolutely.
The whole task. How nice would that be?
Fantastic.
Print it at the end or don't print it.
Exactly. So this the next slide's all about what our lesson plan. Single lesson's got a lesson plan for it, laying out the objectives, the resources and instructions, as well as this fabulous reference section, Helen.
Well, the reference section is because we sometimes overdo lessons and we've got way too much content. And so we put all the extra resources into this reference section.
Yeah.
And another cool thing, Rob, every lesson has a hook question.
Forgot about those.
Have you read any fairy tales? And which was your best fairy tale and why? And I've actually never thought about which was my best. So immediately we're opening up, questioning, understanding. I like this one. I didn't really like the Seven Dwarfs or the Three Bears. What was she doing running around the forest? That kind of thing.
Fantastic.
If you don't feel like all that reading, and there is power, you can have a little quick audio, and in 5 minutes, we'll show you exactly what is involved in this lesson. So literally 5 minutes before.
So this is the teacher's guide video that's available on our website for every single lesson.
And you can literally go through this, and it's normally down to 5 minutes, and you can present the lesson after that.
Fantastic. So we've got you in writing and on video.
Whichever you prefer. And then, of course, we are very resource rich. We give you all these links to online fairy tales, plus there are plenty you can go and look at. We've also got you covered if you do not have devices, because every single fairy tale has a printed story that you can simply print.
So these are the ones that we've selected. So obviously there's some millions of fairy tales. We've selected a few sort of more familiar ones to work with in the classroom?
Well, there's a list of 20 which are very obvious with gender bias or animal
Fantastic.
bias. So those are the ones that you would be looking for.
Nice.
And of course, it would be lovely if you all brought real books to the classroom.
Of course.
And you actually had fairy tale books there, and I'm sure the kids would all bring them and let you learn them for 2 weeks.
Especially for children maybe that haven't been exposed to fairy tales at all.
And
we had folk tales.
You could have a little library and a librarian
Fantastic.
who allows you to take the books home.
Good.
And then, of course, we've got beautiful worksheets for you, which are supportive of what you've been teaching, and just hopefully they're fun and funky. And it could either be in that little booklet or on a Google slide.
Fantastic. So everything's there for you and your kids.
You need to, very little.
And then lastly,
so here's that whole thing about formulating the research question. We realize that that's a difficult piece. And so we've asked you things like, what effect does stereotyping have in fairy tales? And so if stereotyping is relevant, does it mean that I think that I have to get married in order to live a happy life?
So that's where we've guided you as the teacher and the kids on how to formulate that statement or that question. And then, of course, we've got the rubric that is linked to the sort of criteria
the task that we've given you, and it's completely linked. And they're the 10 marks that the department require from you for this task.
And obviously the rest of our unit has got all the tasks that are required, all the rubrics for assessment, instructions, resources, etc. We've really just given you a taster of the first few lessons of this unit.
Exactly, how we sort of lay it out. But it is awesome. And if you are grade 6 and you feel like doing this, your work is cut out, done. It is all waiting for you.
Fantastic.
You can actually cook supper for a change instead of ordering in.
And so go and visit our website, www.coachintheclass.co.za. Go and have a look. It's our brand new first ever English unit. And it's cheap as chips and it's going to save you a lot of grey hairs and time. And you will enjoy it and your kids are going to learn a whole lot. So go and have a visit and we'll see you next time.